اهلا وسهلا بكم طلاب الصف الثاني الاعدادي في حلقه جديده من حلقات ماده الساينس تحت اشراف وزاره التربيه والتعليم. طيب today we are going to solve different types of the questions to have more practicing. Okay. طيب let's start with the first type of the questions here. Complete the following sentences. The first one, meteors are burned in what layer? طيب do you remember we said that meteors are burned in mesosphere layer, and we said this happened due to the friction between the rocky masses that coming from the outer space and the air particles, causing to burn the rocky masses completely before entering the earth surface. طيب the second one, space indicate the activity of once and all the living organism during its life. احنا قلنا ايه indicate the activity of once and all the living organism during its life. It's called traces. Okay, so the traces, they are indicate the activity of all the living organism during its life, while space indicate the remains of once and all the living organism after death. So this is called what? This is called remains. So we have traces and remains. They are types of the fossils. Only traces, they are indicate activity of and all the living organism during its life, but the remains, they are indicate what? The remains of all the living organism after death. Okay. The third question here, space and space are examples of traces of once and all the living organism. What are the examples that we studied in about the traces of all the living organism? We said we have dinosaurs footprint and we have worms tunnel. Okay, they are considered as traces. Type space and space are examples of remains of an old living organism after death. ايه الريمينز اللي احنا لقيناها ل living organism كانت عايشه زمان خالص؟ قلنا كان عندي ايه وايه؟ we have shark's teeth and dinosaur's skull. So dinosaur's skull and shark's teeth, they are considered as a remains, but dinosaur's footprint and worms tunnel, they are considered as the traces. Okay. Number 5, what is the suitable medium to form a mammoth fossil? احنا قلنا الماموث fossil, they are discovered in snow, specifically in Siberia, and the suitable medium to form the complete body fossil for the mammoth was the snow, because it preserved it from decomposition. So they found the complete body of the mammoth preserved in the snow. Type space 3, secrete resinous matter which changes into what after its solidification. Type, we said that we have types of trees, they are called pine tree, and they secrete resinous matter which changes into amber after its solidification. وقلنا pine tree, when they secrete resinous matter, they form a type of the fossils, they are called amber fossil, and amber fossil preserve the insects from decomposition and forming what? A complete body fossil. Question number 7, to obtain a complete body fossil of organism, it must be buried. احنا قلنا once in the living organism dead, they have to be buried rapidly يعني as soon as it's dead in a medium protect it from decomposition. Protect it from decomposition, so we can obtain a complete body fossil. Type space and space are from examples of mold fossils. Do you remember the mold fossils? احنا قلنا mold fossils, they are replica for the internal details of an all the living organism. So we have examples about the mold fossils, nummulite fossil and ammonite fossils. Okay, so nummulite and ammonite fossils, both of them, they are examples of mold fossils. وقلنا mold fossils, they are replica for the internal details. Space is from the recently extinct bird. احنا قلنا recently extinct bird like what? Like dodo bird. But ibis bird and bald eagle, they are endangered birds. But what about space is from recently extinct mammals? We have quagga is from the recently extinct mammals. And the old extinct mammals like what? We have mammoth. Type question 10. Quagga is considered the midway between space and space. احنا قلنا quagga is a type of mammals, and of course it's extinct species, and it was a midway between zebra and horse. So quagga is considered the midway between zebra and what? And horse. What protectorate is the first one established in Egypt? What is the first natural protectorate established in our country Egypt? قلنا it's called راس محمد, and it protect rare types of corals and colored fish. Okay, what about space is the death of all members of a species of living organisms. When the all members of a certain species die out, in this case we are going to say that this species is extinct. So here this is the definition of the word extinction. So extinction is the death of all members of a certain species of living organisms. 13. Mendeleev arranged the elements ascendingly according to, احنا قلنا Mendeleev according to what? When I'm talking about Mendeleev's periodic table, so he arranged them in ascending order according to their atomic weight. But Moseley arranged them ascendingly according to what? Atomic number. So again, you have to differentiate between, in Mendeleev's periodic table, the elements are arranged in ascending order according to their atomic weight, but in Moseley's periodic table, they are arranged according to their atomic number. طب do you remember in the modern periodic table قلنا احنا عملنا classify للelements أو arrangement للelements according to number one, their atomic number, and number two, what the way of filling the energy sub levels with electrons. طيب, question 14. The modern periodic table consists of how many horizontal periods? احنا قلنا عندنا 7 periods. And how many vertical groups? We have 18 vertical groups. طيب, the highest temperature layer in the atmosphere is the highest temperature, so we are talking about thermosphere layer. And what about the least temperature one? The coldest layer in the atmosphere is called what? Mesosphere. Okay, do you remember the temperature in the thermosphere layer? It reaches to 1200 degrees Celsius, but in mesosphere layer it reaches negative 90 degrees Celsius. Number 16. Most of the weather features occur in what layer? احنا قلنا in what layer all the weather phenomena take place? In troposphere layer. So it's called disturbed layer. And what about satellites? They swim through the what layer? احنا قلنا satellites they are revolving or rotating around Earth in exosphere layer. So again, all the weather phenomena happen in the or take place in the troposphere layer. قلنا عشان 75% of the total mass of the air is in the troposphere layer. So all the weather phenomena like rains, like the wind, rains, thunder, all of them they are occurs in what? They occur in the troposphere layer. Ultraviolet radiation has a what effect, and infrared radiation has what effect? احنا قلنا this question is very important. Ultraviolet radiation has a chemical effect, but the infrared radiation it has thermal effect. Among the pollutants of ozone layer are what compounds that are used in air conditioning sets? So here he specify, or he asked me about the compound which is used as a cooling substance. It's called what? Chlorofluorocarbon compounds. Again, it's called what? Chlorofluorocarbon compounds. And what about the compounds that are used in fire extinguishers? We said we have halogens. So chlorofluorocarbon compounds and halogens, both of them, they are considered as a pollutant of ozone layer. Do you remember Archaeopteryx fossil? It represents the link between what and what? Between birds and reptiles. So again, Archaeopteryx is a link between what and what? Between the birds and reptiles. Fossils are used in what? Exploration and determining the age of what? احنا قلنا احنا ممكن نستخدم الفصل to explore the petrol formation and to determine the age of the sedimentary rocks. Okay, so it's used in petroleum exploration and determining the age of sedimentary rocks. 21. The New Zealand scientist Rutherford discovered that the atom contain positively charged what? Specifically inside the atom we have the nucleus. The nucleus contains positively charged protons. Okay, let's move to another type of the questions here. You are going to look at this figure and answer the following questions. طيب do you remember the name of this figure? It's called what? This device, it's called Hofmann's voltmeter. طب do you remember the importance of this device? We use it to make what? To make electrolysis of the water. يعني electrolysis of the water يعني to separate its component from each other, which is oxygen gas and hydrogen gas. So this device, it's called Hofmann's voltmeter. طيب you are going to label the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Let's start with the first one here. Number 1. Number 1 here, it's called what? It's called acidified water. يعني acidified water يعني water with a small drops of any acid like sulfuric acid. Okay? And do you remember why we said that we are going to add drops of acids to make the water a good conductor of electricity, as the pure water is a bad conductor of electricity. So number 1 here represent what? Represent acidified water. يعني water with drops of acids. طيب number 2 here. طيب number 2, he asking about the gas that evolves at the positive pole. Here we have the positive pole. So the gas that evolves here, it's called what? Oxygen gas. طب what about the third one? He asking about the gas that evolves at the negative pole. And the gas that evolves at the negative pole, it's called what? It's called hydrogen gas. So number 2 is oxygen and number 3 is the hydrogen gas. طيب what about number 4 and number 5? Number 4 here represented the positive pole of the device, and we said the positive pole here, it's called anode. So number 4 is the anode. طيب what about number 5? The negative pole here, it's called what? Cathode. So again, this device, it's called what? It's called Hofmann's voltmeter. طيب what is the importance of the Hofmann's voltmeter? It's used to electrolysis of the water, specifically acidified water. يعني to separate the component of the water from each other, hydrogen gas and oxygen gas. Okay? طيب number 1 here, we are going to add water plus drops of sulfuric acid. وقلنا ليه بنحط drops of sulfuric acid? To make the water good conductor of electricity. And number 2 here, the gas that evolves at the positive pole, it's called oxygen gas, and gas evolves at the negative pole here, it's called hydrogen gas. So what about the name of the positive pole? It's called anode, and the name of the negative pole here, it's called cathode. Okay? What happens if a glowing splint is put above the anode and the cathode? طيب احنا قلنا above the anode here we have oxygen gas. What happened when I approach a glowing splint to oxygen gas? We studied from year 6 that oxygen help in burning. So here you are going to see that the glowing of the splint will increase. So at the anode or above the anode, the glowing of the splint increases due to the evolving of oxygen gas. طب what about the cathode? احنا قلنا above the cathode here we have hydrogen gas. طب احنا كنا بنقول ان hydrogen gas it burn with a pop sound. So when I approach the glowing splint to the hydrogen gas, what will happen? It will burn with a pop sound. وليه؟ قلنا ده هيبقى due to evolving of hydrogen gas. So again, oxygen increase the glowing of the splint, but hydrogen it burn with a pop sound. طيب if you asked about calculate the volume of gas that evolves at anode, if the volume of gas that evolves at the cathode is 20 cubic centimeter. طب احنا قلنا ان ال volume of gas which evolves at the cathode اللي هو الهيدروجين is twice the volume of the gas evolves at the anode which is oxygen. طب هنا انا محتاجة احسب مين؟ انا محتاجة احسب ال volume of the gas that evolves at the anode اللي هو الاكسجين gas. يبقى هعمل ايه؟ هعمل ال volume of the evolves gas at the cathode divided 2. So the first step you have to write the rule. The rule here, you are going to say that the volume of gas above the anode equals what? The volume of gas above the cathode divided 2. Okay? طيب هنا الفوليوم بتاعي بكام؟ ب 20 divided 2 it equals 10 cubic centimeter. So again, to solve any problem you have to write the rule at the first step. بعد كده you are going to write the calculation and don't forget to write the unit. Okay? Let's move on to another question here. Mention one example for each of the following. Here you are going to say one example about each of the following. Number 1, halogen exists in a solid state? What is the name of the halogen that exists in a solid state? It's called what? Iodine. Do you remember the halogens? Halogens, they are group of nonmetals exist in group 7A, and they are called halogens because they react with alkali metals forming salts. طيب تعالى نفتكر كده مع بعض مين هم الهالوجينز. هنقول في البداية خالص عندي فلورين، كلورين، برومين and iodine. And we said that fluorine and chlorine, they are exist in a gaseous state, but bromine is a liquid state and iodine is in a solid state. Okay, so again, chlorine and fluorine, they are gases. Bromine is a liquid and iodine is the solid halogen. The second one, I need example for strongest metallic element. مين هو strongest metallic element؟ قلنا السيزيوم، وقلنا ان هو strongest metallic element because it has the largest atomic size. طب هو عنده largest atomic size, so it can lose the element in the outermost energy level easily, so it will be the strongest metallic element. طيب number 3, covalent compound cannot dissolve in water. احنا اخدنا 2 examples على الcovalent compound، وقلنا عندي الشوجر والاويل. which one of them cannot dissolve in water؟ احنا قلنا مين؟ الاويل. طيب لو انا سألتك give reason ليه الاويل is a covalent compound cannot dissolve in water because it can't form hydrogen bond between the water molecules, but sugar can dissolve in water although it's a covalent compound because it can make what? It can form a hydrogen bond between the water molecules. So sugar can dissolve in water but oil cannot dissolve in water. طيب number 4, I need example for extinct bird in the recent time. هنقول مين ال extinct bird in the recent time. It's called dodo bird، وقلنا هو ليه كان من extinct birds عشان هو it has a small size, the wings has a small size so it cannot fly، فبالتالي هو كان easy target for the hunters. Okay. طيب number 5, greenhouse gas. Do you remember the greenhouse gases؟ احنا عندنا كان من greenhouse gases carbon dioxide gas, chlorofluorocarbon compound, we have water vapor, we have nitrous oxide, and we have methane gas. All of them, they are considered as greenhouse gases, so you can choose any one of them to write it as an example here. So you can choose carbon dioxide gas. Okay. طيب number 6, I need example for a fossil of complete body. احنا خدنا 2 examples على fossils of complete body like amber fossil and mammoth fossil. So you can choose any one of them to write it, or you can write both of them. So here we have mammoth, or you can write amber, or you can write both of them. طيب endangered plant. What is the plant that is endangered and it may be extinct in the recent years? We have papyrus plant. Okay, and we said we use it in it was used in manufacture of writing paper. طيب trace fossil. I need example for trace fossil. طبعا التريسز قلنا كان عندي الديناصورز footprint والworms tunnel. You can write any one of them, worms tunnel or dinosaurs footprint. Question 9, I need example for mold fossil. On the mold fossils we have ammonite fossil, nummullite fossil and trilobite fossil, and you can write for example ammonite. طيب cast fossil. احنا اخدنا examples على الكاست fossils, fern cast والfish cast, and here we have fern cast. طيب 11, I need a halogen in a liquid state. احنا قلنا مين الهالوجين that exists in a liquid state? It's called bromine. So bromine is the halogen that exists in a liquid state. And you remember the only liquid metal, it's called mercury. So we have mercury is the only liquid metal and bromine is the only liquid non-metal, and specifically bromine from the halogens. Type. Now locate the following elements in the modern periodic table. Do you remember this type of the questions when you have to locate the elements in the modern periodic table? For example, here I have argon. How to locate the argon in the modern periodic table? احنا قلنا عندي 2 steps. The first one that you are going to number 1, you have to make electronic configuration. Argon, its atomic number here is 18, so we are going to distribute the 18 electrons here as K energy level is saturated with 2 electrons. L energy level here is going to be saturated with 8 electrons, and M energy level is going to be saturated with 8. So 2 و 8 و 8 is 18 A electrons. طيب locate يعني لازم أبقى عارفة هو موجود في period كام وجروب كام. طيب to locate أو to determine the number of the period you have to make what? You have to count the number of the energy levels which are saturated with electrons. طب أنا عندي هنا كام energy level؟ أنا عندي 1 2 3. So this element exists in period 3. طب what about the number of the group؟ علشان أحدد ال number of the group you have to know the outermost energy level here has how many electrons. طب أنا هنا عندي ال outermost energy level has 8 electrons. 8 electrons يعني saturated. طب ينفع أكتب 8A؟ لا، احنا قلنا ما عنديش حاجة اسمها 8A as ان ال outermost energy level is completely filled with electrons. يبقى احنا بنتكلم على element من ال inert gases. فال inert gases كلهم موجودين في ايه؟ موجودين في جروب 0 أو جروب 18. So it's up to you to write group 0 أو group A 18. So again to determine أو to locate the element in the modern periodic table you have to know هو موجود في period A وموجود في جروب كام. طيب period يبقى لازم أعمل إيه؟ determine أو to count the number of the energy levels here. Here I have 3 energy levels, so this element exists in period 3. طب how many electrons exist in the outermost energy level? Here we have 8. 8 ده معناها إن ال energy level ده is saturated with electrons. يبقى إحنا بنتكلم على ال inert gases وال inert gases exist in 0 group أو group 18. Okay? طيب let's have another example here. We have sulfur. Sulfur, the atomic number is 16. طب how to locate the sulfur in the modern periodic table? On the first step you have to make what? Electronic configuration. طيب electronic configuration, the first energy level here is K, is going to be saturated with 2 electrons. طيب بعد كده the L energy level here is saturated with 8 electrons. After that we have M energy level has 6 electrons. طيب to know the number of the period and the number of the group. قلنا عشان نعرف عدد رقم البيريود كام هعمل ايه؟ count the number of the energy levels here. Here I have 3 energy levels, so this element exists in period 3. And what about the number of the group? احنا قلنا الجروب we are going to look at the outermost energy level here. It has how many electrons? It has 6 electrons, so this element exists in group 6A. Don't forget to write the letter A. Okay? طيب another example here, aluminium with atomic number 13. Again, to locate the element you have to make what? Electronic configuration. So K saturated with 2 electrons, L saturated with 8 electrons, and still I have 3 electrons is going to be added in the energy level M. طيب to locate the number of the period and the number of the group, قلنا ال period the number of the energy levels. Here I have 3 energy levels, so this element exists in period 3. طب what about in the group? The number of the group is the same number of the electrons in the outermost energy level. So here I have 3 electrons, so this element exists in group 3, and don't forget to write A. طيب sodium Na, again K saturated with 2, L saturated with 8, and I still have 1 electron is going to be added in the energy level M. طيب what about the number of the period? Exist in, here I have 3 energy levels, so it exists also in period 3. طب what about the number of the group? Here I have 1 electron in the outermost energy level, so this element exists in group 1A. Okay. طيب now we are going to move to another type of the questions. You have to mention the atomic numbers of the following elements. السؤال ده هو عكس السؤال اللي فات. السؤال اللي فات هو كان بيديني الاتوميك نمبر اوف ذا element وكان بيبقى عايزني allocate الاليمنت ده موجود في period A وموجود في جروب A. طب هنا في الكويستشن ده هو already هيديني الاليمنت ويقول لي مثلا an element X lies in the first period and in group 0. وعايزني انا احسب الاتوميك نمبر بتاع الاليمنت ده. طيب the first step here you have to write a او to draw the number of the energy levels. هو قال لي موجود في first period يبقى انا عندي only one energy level. So here I'm going to draw the energy level 1 which is K. طيب قال لي ان هو موجود في جروب 0. جروب 0 معناها ان الانرجي ليفل ده is completely filled with electrons او saturated with electrons. طب انا عارفه ان الكي is already saturated ب how many electrons? Saturated with 2 electrons. ف element X its atomic number will be what? Will be 2 atomic number. Okay? So you are going to write X. And do you remember the atomic number is written at the left side and in the lower part ولا upper part of the element؟ طبعا بيبقى مكتوب في الايه؟ في ال lower part of the element. So here I'm going to write X وهنا 2. And between brackets you are going to write a 2. So again, if he asks me to mention the atomic number of the following of any element, and for example here he asked element X lies in the first period and group 0. طيب to determine the atomic number of the element, you have to draw the energy levels which are saturated with electrons. طيب هنا أنا عندي هو موجود في first period يبقى أنا عندي only one energy level. فهرسم الانرجي ليفل ده which is K and it exists in group 0. group 0 يعني الاليمنت او الانرجي ليفل ده is completely filled with electrons واحنا عارفين ان ال K is only saturated with with 2 electrons. So the atomic number here is going to be a 2. طب let's have another example here. An element lies in the third period and group 18. Third period. So here I have how many energy levels? Here I have 3 energy levels. So I'm going to draw 3 energy levels K, L, and M. So, of course K is saturated with 2, L saturated with 8. طيب and it exists in group 18. Group 18 it means that the outermost energy level for this element is completely filled with electrons. هو موجود في group 0 أو group 18 يعني ده inert gas. So M here is saturated with how many electrons? 8 electrons. طيب let's count all the electrons together. Here I have 2, 8, 8. So the atomic number here equals what? Equals 18. Okay? So again, to determine the atomic number of any element, you have to make what? You have to look. This element exists in period number what? And the group number what? And the number of the period represent the number of the energy levels. هو هنا قال لي third period, so I'm going to draw 3 energy levels. طب it exists in group 18 يعني ال outermost energy level هيكون فيه completely filled with electrons يعني هيكون عندي 8 electrons. And then you are going to sum all the numbers of electrons here together. 2 plus 8 plus 8 it equals 18. So the atomic number here equals what? 18. طيب. Another example. An element lies in the third period, so you are going to draw 3 energy levels. So here I have 3 energy levels. And group 2A. Group 2A يبقى ال outermost energy level has how many electrons? It has 2 electrons. Here L has 8 and the K has 2. طيب. To determine the number, the atomic number, just you are going to count all the number of electrons together. Here I have 2 plus 8 plus 2, it equals what? It equals 12. So the atomic number here for this element, it equals what? 12. Okay? So you have 2 options of the questions, or 2 types of the question. Question number 1, if I asked you to locate the number of the, the position of the element in the modern periodic table, so you have to count the number of energy levels to know the number of the period. And you have to look for the outermost energy level, it has how many electrons, so it will indicate the number of the group. Okay? And the opposite type of the question here is to mention the atomic number of the element. يعني أنا هديك هو موجود في period كام وجروب كام and you are going to calculate the atomic number. تمام؟ احنا قلنا النمبر بتاع البيريود represent the number of the energy levels والجروب number represent the outermost energy level has how many electrons. Okay? طيب problem if the temperature at the foot of a mountain is 25 degrees Celsius, find the temperature at its top of a height 2 kilometer above the sea level. طيب احنا قلنا احنا في البروبلمز دي once ان انا شفت الهايت the first step that I'm going to do is to calculate the change in temperature. طب to remember the rule you have to draw the magic triangle. وفي الماجيك triangle ال C هنا بتrepresent change in the temperature والهايت والH دي بتrepresent الايه الهايت. اوكي طيب علشان احسب ال C change in the temperature you have to make what you have to multiply the height times 6.5. واحنا قلنا ال 6.5 دي ال rate of decrease in the temperature for each 1 kilometer height above the sea level. كل ما بنطلع 1 kilometer height above the sea level the temperature decreases with the rate equals what 6.5. فعلشان نحسب ال change in the temperature التغير اللي حصل في درجات الحرارة you have to make what you have to multiply the height of the mountain times 6.5. تمام طيب the first step in any problem you have to write the rule. طب what is the rule here? The rule said that a change in the temperature equal height times 6.5 degree Celsius. طب احنا عارفين ان الهايت بكام؟ ب 2 kilometer. So you are going to add 2 below the height times 6.5 it equals what 13 degree Celsius. طيب انا محتاجه احسب ايه؟ انا محتاجه احسب ال temperature at the top وهو مديني ال temperature at the foot. طيب at the top يبقى انا طالعه واحنا بنطلع ال temperature بتاعتي بيحصل لها decrease or increase. طيب واحنا بنطلع بيحصل decrease هنا in the calculation represent what minus. يبقى عشان احسب ال temperature at the top of the mountain هعمل ايه؟ ال temperature اللي هو مديهاني عند الفوت minus ال change in the temperature اللي احنا لسه جايبينه. يبقى تاني the second step to calculate the temperature at the top احنا طالعين للماونتن طالعين يعني بنعمل minus. ليه؟ علشان ال temperature بيحصل لها decrease. اوكي فهقول ال temperature at the top it equals ال temperature at foot minus a change in the temperature. طب هو مديني ال temperature at the foot equals 25 degrees Celsius. يبقى هقول 25 minus ال change in temperature اللي احنا لسه حاسبينه حالا طلع بكام؟ 13. يبقى 25 minus 13 it equals what 12 degree Celsius. okay طيب in any problem don't forget to write the rule because in the you have 1 mark for the rule و 1 mark على ال calculation والunit برضو بيكون عليها ايه marks. فبالتالي you have to write the rule you have to make the calculation in a correct way and don't forget to write the unit which is degree Celsius. okay each step of them it has a mark. طيب another problem here he asked me to calculate the height. So now I have to calculate what the height of a mountain if you know that the temperature at its foot equals 19 degrees Celsius and the temperature at its top is negative 10 degree Celsius. طيب برضو علشان نحسب الهايت we are going to draw the magic triangle اللي هو كان بيقول ال change in the temperature equals what ال height times 6.5. طب in this problem I have to calculate the height. علشان نحسب الهايت محتاجين نعمل ايه؟ a change in the temperature divided ال 6.5. اوكي؟ طب ازاي هنحسب ال change in the temperature؟ The first step you have to write the rule. The rule here said that the height equals a change in the temperature divided 6.5. طب هنا change in the temperature بحسبها ازاي؟ بحسب ال temperature at the foot minus ال temperature at the top عشان احنا لسه قايلين وانا بتحرك لفوق اللي بيحصل لل temperature it decreases يعني بنعمل minus. اوكي ف to calculate the change in the temperature you have to make 19 minus ال negative 9. فهكتب كده 19 minus between two brackets negative 10 sorry divided 6.5. okay so 29 divided 6.5 it equals what 4.5 kilometer. طب انا ليه هنا حطيت كيلومتر ما حطيتش ديجري سيليزيوس؟ عشان احنا بنحسب ايه؟ هايت، والهايت طبعا الميجرنج يونت بتاعته بتكون بالمتر او بالكيلومتر. تمام، بس طبعا هنا في البروبلمز بتاعتنا بنتعامل بالكيلومتر. اوكي. question a new question here. You have to complete the following. هو مديني element P وقال لي الatomic number بتاعه is 15. Okay. The first question here he asked me to make the electronic configuration for this element. طيب هنا انا عندي 3 energy levels، وال 3 energy levels دي هتبقى K and the second one is L, third one is M. طب احنا عارفين ان ال K is already saturated ب 2 electrons. So here you are going to write 2. طب what about the L energy level؟ احنا عارفين ان هو saturated with 8 electrons. 2 8 equals 10. So here I still have 5 electrons and they are going to be added in in M energy level. يبقى the first question here electronic configuration هتبقى 2 8 5. 2 في ال K energy level, 8 in the L energy level, وال M is going to have 5 electrons. So here we have 2 8 and 5. طيب the next question, I need to calculate the number of the energy levels occupied by electrons. هنا we have how many energy levels occupied by electrons? Here we have 3 energy levels. So the number of energy levels here, they are equals what? 3. طيب the next one, I need to calculate the number of the period. This element exists in period number what? طيب قلنا عشان نحسب ال number of the period you have to calculate أو to count the number of the energy levels. Here I have 1 2 3. We have 3 energy levels, so this element exists in period number 3. طيب what about the number of electrons in the outermost energy level? I'm going to look at the outermost energy level here. It has how many electrons? It has 5 electrons. So this element, yes, this element has 5 electrons in the outermost energy level. طيب what about group number traditional? Traditional number of the group اللي هي 1A 2A 3A 4A 2B 3B. So this element exists in group number what? هنا outermost energy level it has only 5 electrons, so this element exists in group A, in group 5A. طيب what about group number modern? The modern number of this group. طيب do you remember when we said that to calculate the modern number you have to remove the letter and you are going to add 10? You are going just to remove the letter. هشيل يعني مثلا 1A فهشيل اللتر A وهيبقى بس جروب 1. ده المودرن نمبر. طب جروب 2A هشيل اللتر A وهيتفضل عندي 2، يبقى انا بتكلم في جروب A 2 لو انا بتكلم على المودرن نمبر. طيب starting from 3A و 4A 5A and so on until I reach to group 7A you are going to remove the letter and add 10. طب انا هنا موجوده في 5A يبقى انا هشيل اللتر اللي هو A وهاد عليها 10 plus 10 يبقى 5 plus 10 equals what? Equals 15. يبقى the modern number of this group it equals what? 15. Okay, so this element exists in group 15 اللي هي 5A. تمام كده؟ طيب it exists in block what؟ احنا قلنا الجروب 5A أو جروب 15 it exists in what block? in S block ولا D block ولا P block؟ طبعا جروب 15 أو جروب 5A it exists in the P block. So this element exists in P block. Okay. طيب if I asked you give reason scientists thought about classifying elements according to their properties. ليه scientists try to classify the elements according to their properties؟ احنا قلنا هم عملوا كده to facilitate their study عشان نسهل دراسة elements دي and to find the relationship between elements and their physical and chemical properties. Okay. طيب what about if I asked you to give reason يعني why Mendeleev left gaps in his periodic table? Do you remember when we talked about Mendeleev's periodic table we said that Mendeleev left gaps in his periodic table and this is because of what? He predicted the discovery of new elements. هو already تنبأ ب إن إحنا هندiscover لسه new elements, so he left gaps for these elements. Mendeleev had to make a disorder in the ascending order of atomic weight of some elements. Why Mendeleev he had to make a disturbance or disorder in the ascending order of the atomic weight of some elements to put them in groups that suit their properties. To put them in groups suit their properties. Type why Mendeleev had to put more than one element in one cell like cobalt, iron, and nickel due to due to their similarity in properties, or because they are similar in their properties. Okay, so he had to put them in one cell. Elements of the same group are similar in their chemical properties. هنا بتكلم على ال elements of the same group. ليه بيكون ليهم نفس ال chemical properties? Because they have the same number of electrons in the outermost energy level. So group, for example, group 1A, all of them they are called alkali metals. All of them they have the same properties because all of them have the same number of electrons in the outermost energy level, which is one electron. Type elements of the same period are different in their chemical properties. Why? The elements in the same period they have different chemical properties because they have different numbers of electrons in the outermost energy levels. احنا قلنا في البيريود بلاقي ان elements they have the same number of energy levels but they are different in the number of the electrons and the outermost energy level, so they don't have the same properties. Type ice crystals have round shape and small volume. Type of course no, they have hexagonal shape and large volume. Type the second question, water molecules are linked together by ionic bond. This is false because we said that all the water molecules they are linked together by hydrogen bond. Third one, water molecule contains one double covalent bond. احنا قلنا in the water molecule we have one oxygen atom combined with two hydrogen atoms with two single covalent bonds. So here this sentence is wrong. Covalent bonds in water molecule are stronger than the hydrogen bonds. طبعا this is right. احنا قلنا ال hydrogen bond between the water molecules is weaker than the covalent bond. Number 5, water density increases on freezing. احنا قلنا when the water become ice its volume increase, and as the volume increases the density decrease. So this sentence here is wrong. Instead of increases it must be decreases. Both oil and sugar are covalent compounds. This is yes. احنا قلنا الsugar والoil both of them they are covalent compounds, but sugar can dissolve in water, but oil cannot dissolve in water. Give reason presence of hydrogen bond between the water molecules. ليه أصلا عندي موجود hydrogen bond between the water molecules؟ احنا قلنا ده بسبب the higher electronegativity of oxygen compared with the hydrogen. So this is the reason for presence of hydrogen bond between the water molecules. Complete. Water molecules are linked together by لسه قايلين حالا by hydrogen bond due to the higher electronegativity of oxygen comparing to hydrogen. Water is a good polar solvent as it has the ability to dissolve most ionic compounds. احنا قلنا most ionic compounds can dissolve in water. So the water is good polar solvent. Some covalent compounds such as what cannot dissolve in water. قلنا oil is a covalent compound that cannot dissolve in water as they cannot form what bond with water molecules, cannot form hydrogen bonds with water molecules. Number 4, water molecule is composed of one oxygen atom and two hydrogen atoms. والبوند ما بينهم بتكون single covalent bond. Number 5, the bond between hydrogen atom and oxygen atom in the water molecule is single covalent bond, while bonds between the water molecules are called hydrogen bonds. Pure water boils at 100 degrees Celsius, don't forget the unit, and freezes at 0 degree A Celsius, and don't forget the unit. طيب choose the correct answer. Elements of group 1A are known as halogen alkali metals inert. طبعا they are called alkali metals. طيب elements of group 1A are dissolved in water forming what solution? They dissolve in water and they form basic solutions. طيب all these elements are monovalent except what? Monovalent, it means that the outermost energy level has only one electron. طيب ال Na already 11, so it will be 2, 8, 1, so it's monovalent. طيب ال K potassium 19 يعني 2, 8, 8 and 1, so it also monovalent. طيب what about calcium 20 يعني 2, 8, 8, 2. So this is the exception. طب let's make sure about lithium 3 يعني هيكون عندي 2 ب 1. So all of them have only one electron in the outermost energy level except what? Except the calcium. It has 2 electrons, so it's divalent, not monovalent. طيب the gas evolved on reacting alkali metal with water is what gas? It's a hydrogen gas, and we said it burn with a pop sound. طيب the strongest metal lies in group A 1A. احنا قلنا 1A is the group that has the most active metals أو the strongest metals. Okay, and what about element has higher chemical reactivity, which one of them is the most active? Sodium or magnesium or potassium? Calcium طبعا of course potassium is more active than sodium or magnesium or calcium. Okay? طيب write the scientific term. The ability of the atom to attract the electrons of the chemical bond towards itself. احنا قلنا ده definition بتاع electronegativity. So electronegativity is the ability of the atom in the polar compounds to attract the electrons of the chemical bond toward itself. طيب safe area established to protect endangered species in their homeland. السيف area اللي احنا already بنعمل لها established to protect any endangered species, it's called a natural protectorate. Okay, like here in Egypt we have Ras Muhammad protectorate and Wadi El Hitan protectorate. طيب number 4, it's the continuous decrease without compensation in number of a certain species until all the members die. When we have continuous decrease without compensation in a number of a certain species, this is called what? This is the definition of extinction. This is extinction. طيب بكده تكون خلصت حلقتنا النهارده، واتمنى ان احنا نكون استفدنا واتدربنا على انواع مختلفه من الاسئله، واشوفكم ان شاء الله الحلقه الجايه ونبتدي نتدرب فيها على ازاي نحل اسئله الامتحانات. شكرا.